What if one accident changed who you are? Not just your job, not just your body, but your entire personality. This is the true story of a man who survived a metal rod blasting through his skull and lived. But the man who survived wasn't the same man anymore. And this is how one freak accident in 1848 changed science forever. Phineas Gage was 25, smart, hard-working, a railroad foreman in Vermont, USA. It was September 13, 1848. He and his team were laying down iron tracks through rocky land. Phineas was using a 3-foot-long iron tamping rod, pushing blasting powder into a hole drilled in rock. But that day, he made one small mistake. There was no sand in the hole to cover the powder, and when he struck it, boom! An explosion blasted the iron rod straight through his head, entering under his left cheek and shooting out the top of his skull. The rod flew nearly 80 feet away, covered in blood and brain. Everyone thought Phineas was dead, but then he stood up and spoke. Phineas was rushed to a local doctor. His left eye was gone. His brain was leaking. His skull had a hole the size of a teacup. Yet somehow, he could still talk. He could walk. He remembered people's names. The doctor cleaned and closed the wound. No fancy surgery, no anesthesia, just 1848 medicine. And Gage? He lived. People called it a miracle. But soon, the miracle began to change. Before the accident, Phineas was friendly, calm, a natural leader, trusted by his crew. After the accident, he was rude, angry. He cursed a lot. He made risky decisions. He couldn't keep a job or a friend. One friend said, Gage was no longer Gage. His body had survived, but his mind had changed. And suddenly doctors began asking questions that had never been asked before. Could the brain be the source of our personality? In the 1800s, people didn't fully understand the brain. They thought personality came from the heart, or even the soul. But Phineas Gage became the first real case study in brain science. Doctors began to map the brain, learning that different parts control different things. Where the rod passed through, the frontal lobe, the part that controls behavior, emotion, decision-making. Phineas Gage became the man who helped science discover the brain is not just for thinking, it's who we are. Gage moved west. He worked with a traveling circus showing his injuries. Later, he moved to Chile and became a stagecoach driver. Strangely, over the years, his behavior improved. He became more stable, calmer. Some scientists believe his brain rewired itself, that the human brain can heal, even after trauma. In 1860, 12 years after the accident, Phineas Gage died from seizures. But his skull and the iron rod were preserved. They still sit today in the Harvard Medical School Museum. Phineas Gage didn't just survive a horror story. He opened a door to a new world of science. His story taught us something amazing, that who we are lives inside our brain. And that one moment, one accident, can change us forever. If this story opened your mind, like, share, subscribe. This is Fazt, where the past never dies.